Hello everyone, Jet here, and I'm going to be doing the campaign I've been threatening for a while actually now. I am going to be doing a dwarf campaign, but to make it a bit more difficult for me, I'm going to be playing as Clan Angrund with Belegar Ironhammer. So, the downside of this is, I get a lot, my upkeep is increased by 50% until Karak 8 Peaks is captured. So obviously Karak 8 Peaks is going to be my first aim. However, there's a lot of powerful factions between me and there. Well, there's a couple of powerful factions of orc factions there. And there are a lot of other factions around as well. Because there's a lot of other people who want to make their way to Karak 8 Peaks as well. And you're in a very difficult starting position here. Obviously, all the normal sort of dwarf things. We do get a bit of extra when laying siege. We also start with 4 unique heroes who are very nice. They're ancestor heroes who are ghosts and take very, very little damage, which makes them hugely beneficial. We also get a unique building chain at Karak 8 Peaks. All the normal sort of dwarf things as well here. So very heavily armoured units. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump straight into this campaign. Now, I know there's probably lots of people already doing dwarf campaigns. Them and Lizardmen are actually my favourite factions at the moment. Lizardmen are far more aggressive than the Dwarfs, and you can see the type of factions I like from that, though, because they are probably the most close to standard factions you can have.
Angrund is adrift, my lord Belegar, yet hope remains. The dwarf lords of Karak Izor have sponsored your quest to retake your ancestral home. A chance yet lingers. The journey will be long and perilous. There is much ground between here and your throne, and enemies are everywhere. To the north, the treacherous and duplicitous Skarsnik, self-proclaimed warlord of Karak 8 Peaks, moves to usurp your birthright once more. Time is of the essence. Yet in the east, the Badlands teem with more greenskins, and even the border princes may wish to exploit your plight. You must not relent.
Okay, so that's our first setup. Obviously, the first thing we want to do...
Rage and determination, the fortress of Karak 8 Peaks shall be returned to dwarf rule once again, with you, Belegar Ironhammer, as its rightful king.
So obviously, the first thing we want to do is get ourselves safe in our home territory. We're probably going to get attacked from here early on.
Against your kind are recorded in
Okay, this is talking about the grudge book, and what we get here is we get grudges as the game goes on, which are things we have to do. And if I don't deal with them, it actually causes quite a lot of negatives for my people. But for now, I'm putting all of these guys into my army because they are very powerful. And let's get here leveling up. First thing I'm going to do is start getting food out here. And obviously Belegar himself. These guys are really good because they're ethereal, which, as I was mentioning earlier, means they oh, where is it? Does it say down here? But basically, it means they take very, very little physical damage. So yeah, ignore most damage by non-magical weapons, which is actually a humongous buff for them. Let's just have a look. Can I get these guys? And I can make these guys immortal now, which is really solid. Because having these guys so I can re-recruit them if they get killed. Because that is actually a little overpowered, I'm going to be honest. So first thing we want to do is go and try and deal with this little faction here. So we want to secure our territory here. And once we've secured here, we want to start making our way over into the Badlands and pushing towards Karak 8 Peaks. We also want to unlock Quarrelers early on. Quarrelers are going to be one of the mainstays of my armies, guys. Now, I know other people will do different things. Other people will certainly use handgunners. Well, not handgunners. Oh, I can't remember what they're called, but they're... I can't think of the words. Anyway, first thing we're doing is going down the money route here, because money is going to be very important early on for me. Hang on, let's just have a quick look at the Dwarven. Thunderers. A lot of people go for Thunderers early on, but I'm not so keen on Thunderers simply because they can't shoot over your troops. So they've got their place, but I really prefer Quarrelers because you can just shoot over your troops, especially later on when you get Iron Breakers. Because then basically you have a line of dwarfs who throw explosives at anybody who approaches them, and people behind them just peppering them with arrows. And it's really dwarfs actually do really well with ranged units, surprisingly actually. So it's quite a nice thing to be able to do. Obviously, one thing I'm going to be able to do here is I'm actually going to be able to take a lot of extra territory.
The power of the Dawi has reverberated through these mountains for millennia. Harness that strength, and you will have all you need to restore the Kara's Anchor to its former glory.
Okay, so this is our grudge issued. Capture Karak 8-piece. Seen as an oath unfulfilled, and a sore point for all dwarfs. The loss of Karak 8-piece was a low point for the Kara's Anchor. Since its fall, many dwarfs have tried and failed to reconquer it. Belegar is the latest of these, who has dedicated his life to reclaiming the famous hold. As a direct descendant of the last ruler of Karak 8-piece, Belegar, and all those in Clan Angrund consider its occupation their greatest grudge. So the reward for this, Lord recruits extra, that's really good, 4 public orders, extra unit experience, so extra leadership fighting green skills, and extra ranks for recruited lords once I do it. Obviously, it's a fair trek away from me here, so it's not going to be something I'm going for instantly. And the first thing I want to do is secure my position here nicely. And we are already running a negative income, so we're going to start pushing straight down here. I'm going to keep this place growing for the time being. It's only a small negative we're running, but I want to get in and get Karak buffed up. But however I pronounce that, buffed up really quickly. And basically, this little area is going to be where we're gonna move on from. I want to try and get allies around me here. Now these guys are probably going to fall quite early because they have Skarsnik pressuring them straight at the start. So that is something I want to be aware of. Okay, so they've actually jumped underneath, so that's going to benefit me there. It's a nice easy auto here for us. Straight occupy. We are dwarfs. We don't go in for sacking as much. We do sometimes, but it's not really something we do to a huge amount. That's a bit odd. But it's got a 4th level, it's not in. I assume they are in other places elsewhere then. I'm going to go straight for the extra income for quite obvious reasons here. Now, obviously this is going to be the first one we go for. We've got a couple of nice things up here. Quest items for him. But the main thing we're going to be doing is, well, we'll probably go down his tree to start with to make him tougher. Though we could go down here. Let's have a look. So, Dwarf Warriors and Miners, but I'm not going to be keeping them later on. Extra missile damage for range units is actually very good, and vigor loss reduction for all of my army is very good as well. I don't really use Rangers. I'm not so fussed by this at this point, because I'm going to be going for non-dwarf warrior units later on. Now, I don't think this covers other things later on, but I could be wrong there. I think it literally does just cover the dwarf warriors, who I will only be using early game. So I'm not really that fussed by the red tree for dwarfs. Plus, you don't really need it as the dwarfs, because the dwarfs are tough enough, actually. They are really solid and tough units. So actually, not having that is not necessarily a massive negative to me. Now, we're going to ignore this teeny little army for the time being. And we're going to keep pushing down. So we've already got Karak subsidies, which is going to increase our things. So I now have a grudge to defeat them, which gives me extra leadership when doing it. However, they are going to be forced to attack somebody soon, so it's double time around here to get back to here. And why don't you guys like me?
We may not be the Empire.
The Empire.
Greetings.
Let's have a look,
We may not
see
be
what
the
I
Empire.
can do with the people around me. So I can't get any trade out yet, which I would like to get, but that's something which can wait for the time being. Go for that one, and then we'll go down toolmakers as well. And you get lots of very good solid buffs for the dwarfs as well when you're going through their trees. But as I said, the main thing I'm worried about at the moment is just getting myself started and keeping my income going, because until I retake Karak 8 Peaks,
Rival power
this is going to be a very difficult thing. Yes, I am going to grab that. The other thing I want to do is I want to actually help out the Empire to stop the vampires getting too powerful, because as we've seen in every other campaign I've played so far in Mortal Empires, the vampires get very, very powerful. I'm more than happy to stay friendly with all the human factions for the time being, so
Lord of the Angrund.
so go straight into Zarkzil and let's get here, cat. Nice easy auto again.
Ancestors hear us.
Let's knock that over. Now, I've got the entire region, so we can untainted and public order for a moment. We'll switch that over to tax rate. Ooh. No, we're going to go for public order for a moment. We'll probably switch that to growth once we get going again. For very simple reasons. Okay, so we've leveled up again. So we're... Ooh, the Oathstone. So, that's himself and everybody within things. It gives them extra defense and gives them expert charge defense. I'm not so worried about that at the moment, you know. Same with things like this. While it's very nice, I don't like things which only affect one thing, because my dwarfs already have really high melee defense, so I'm not going to bother about that for the moment. We're going to start going down this tree and really upping his weapon damage. But again, this is weapon strength versus green skin tribes, which I'm not so fussed about, because only against green skin tribes I'm not only going to be fighting green skin tribes, so that's not necessarily going to be the most useful thing. So we've secured this entire province now, which is good, and some of my guys have leveled up. So this is one of my Thane. Now our Thanes are damage dealers, so these guys are straight damage dealers. Again, this is just green skin tribes, so I'm not going to bother with that yet. Though, actually, these guys are going to be up for much longer, so that could be useful, because I'm going to get... I still have 40 points to spend here, and there's more than 40 things to spend points on. Training, however, is also a very, very beneficial one. And that is actually the thing with Beleg as well. I'm going to have more than enough points to fill up almost everything he's got, so it might be worth us taking the Greenskin Tribe one, simply because we are going to be fighting Greenskin Tribes early on. However, for the moment we'll grab Foe Seeker, and you see that's not even as good as straight going for Wound Maker. The top level is, so... Okay, so this is our Master Engineer, so he is a ranged guy, and he also buffs all of the ranged people around him. He's got various abilities, including Steel Technology. He can get Ancestral Grudge as well, but yeah, so I can increase his range. I can up the damage for all of the missile infantry in the army, which is huge. And I can up the ammo they have. And you can do the same thing for towers and siege battles and for artillery. So upping the range for all the artillery, which is very nice as well. But first on, we're going to go for... we're going to get into the second tree. Just so we've got this, because that's a very nice buff for him and all his allies in range. And then we're probably going to buff up Triangulation, because that's a very nice buff, an extra 12% damage for all of my ranged units in the army. This is our Runesmith. Runesmiths are a little weird, because you don't have magic as dwarfs, but you do have Runesmiths who... they reduce the Winds of Power, which is always useful. They do have various abilities as well. So you've got rune abilities which you use, which do various things. So you know, so like this is a direct damage rune. It's not a spell. It's definitely a rune. So again, I don't use these guys as much. Maybe I should use them more, but that's a constant augment of 40 meters, which gives everybody armor piercing in range. So for example, so to start with, let's have a look. We're gonna pop damping to reduce this, because this means that there's less spells can be cast in the region, which is always nice. And another feign. So it's quite simple. We're going to do the exact same thing with him, and let's enter. This is the other thing I need to be aware of. I need to keep dealing with grudges, or I start getting issues with my public order and relations with other dwarf factions. Now, obviously, as one of my grudges is to recapture Karak 8 Peaks, that could take me a while. Okay, first thing we're going to do here, before I forget to do it, we're going to put everybody onto high and fastest, to make sure that our end turns, our gaps between turns, do not take too long. Okay, let's keep this going then. So no really good solid battles yet. Oh! What? Nice, easy auto, and that completes Grudge. Did the elves just go to war with me, guys? The wood elves just went to war with me, didn't they? Oh, they united against us. I didn't even realise they were... The elves! What?
Ready.
So the elves sided with the orcs against me. We'll just get this right, guys. The elves sided with the orcs.
Greetings. We may not be the Empire, but our realm has riches and strength.
Let's try and make these guys nice and friendly with me so I can get a trade agreement. Because I'm going to be dealing with some horrible, smelly elves soon, from the sounds of it. End turn. We did just complete one of our grudges, which will have helped my public order. Yes, I want a non-aggression pact with you, Orion. Especially considering some of your elven friends have decided they don't want to have an alliance with me. They want to go to war with me, which is, yeah. That is unexpected. I think I'm going to beat them again, guys. Again, we don't get the option for getting myself any extra experience with these guys, which is a little annoying. Some of the other factions do get that. So we've destroyed the Broken Nose faction, and we've got that extra income from settlements. Right, so what do I want to do next? We want to push up to here to get the extra income from here. We probably do want to do some of these public relations ones. This should sort itself out within a turn or two. You can keep marching up here then.
Onwards!
I'm still shocked by the fact that the elves went to war with me, allied with them, and went to war with me. So I'm going to try and jump over and take out these guys next as a stepping stone to get over to where I really want to be working in the Badlands, guys, because I want to get myself over to the Badlands and expanding over there and pushing towards Karak 8 Peaks as early as possible. And the thing which is going to be tricky there with that is I'm going to be being called. Yep, you can have straight up have a non-aggression pact, mate. Is I'm going to keep getting called back over here to deal with threats from Skarsnik, for example, and I might end up having to pursue a war against Skarsnik before I start really pushing into the Badlands. And we do obviously have Skaven down here as well, which I want to be aware of, who are already pushing up quite big armies, but so long as I get my defences up relatively quickly, they shouldn't be too difficult to deal. Now, the question is, see, these places have quite solid garrisons as well, so I really don't want to be pursuing a war against them unless I absolutely have to. So I'm going to try and leave it and see if we see if their dislike of me wanes with time.
We are willing to hear it.
Nope. Okay, you fool.
Yes?
You have a proposal?
It's anybody I can really trade with yet? No, I'm a bit stuck in here as well to start with. At some point I might pursue a war with the Border Princes just to get control of that chunk of territory, because it's nice, because it's kind of stuck right in the middle of us and stops us really getting far out and being able to trade with too many people. Whereas if I get a port, because obviously Karak Izor is my capital. Now, it didn't used to change in the old game, but it might change in Warhammer 1, but in Warhammer 2 it might change. Whoa. So Estelia has already fallen to the Skaven, I'm assuming. So, I might want to be aware of that.
It shall be done.
Which territory? Is this territory? Yes, that is Black Venom
King of
territory.
8 peaks. Very well, I will do as you ask.
Don't mess with me. What?
No, wait. Very subtly not going to war with them yet.
Zowie from another hold arrived. What?
You have a proposal? We are willing to hear it.
I didn't realise I accidentally trespassed on their territory.
Greetings, stranger.
Where did I trespass on their territory? Okay, never mind. So we're going to try and get this little bit, then we'll try and confederate with Karak Hiran, or take it by force. Sorry. Bring them into the true Dwarven Empire, which is mine. So, you know, we're doing good things here, guys. Good things, not bad things, good things. So Skull Takers have been destroyed. A close ally of ours, an influential Dowie sitting on several guild council, has shamed his family name with a craven act. He should, by all accounts, take the Slayer oath and go into exile. But he will lose his influence. Make him take the oath, and I lose some influence with Karak, or I can have a shave forbid him for taking the oath, which gives me -3 public order. I don't want the public order negative, so we'll take the hit to Karak, so we will make him take the oath.
Belegar Ironhammer.
We're going to declare war of these guys and take here.
To vengeance.
Another nice easy auto for us.
To battle.
Another hold reclaimed.
Lun's air.
Nicely levelled up again. So actually I am going to take Ancestral Grudge, simply because we've got plenty of points to spend, guys. And I'm going to be mostly fighting Greenskins to start with him. So actually that's going to be a very nice buff to us while fighting Greenskins. These guys, however, are going to go straight down Woundmaker. And we're going to push up Triangulation to up my range damage. We're going to go for the direct damage thing. So strong versus multiple combatants. Also lowers enemy speed. There is a chance they will resist, of course. These guys are great because they're very, very hard for the enemy to kill as well. I don't want one of them there.
Are we from another holder?
Let's have a look. We
What?
should
The
be
Empire?
increasing material. Why do none
I am
of
ready
these
to
guys
parley.
want to trade with me? I don't think I really have much to trade yet, to be fair. Which one to level up first? Doesn't make a difference. I want to get both of these leveled up, and I want to get walls in both of those settlements as quickly as possible. Because if the Skaven do start pushing forwards, while my I'm quite confident my dwarfs can hold them, I would really like to have walls between me and the Skaven hordes. I can't believe this. They've already smashed. Though then again, there's beastmen down here as well to start with. So Skaven and beastmen early on actually probably isn't good for them.
Prestige grows, my lord.
Okay, so we've
News
completed
of your
our first
conquest spreads.
chapter objective. So we've got a 3,000 from our bonus objectives, which I'm not sure what our bonus objective was, but never mind. So let's look what our next chapter objective is. Ooh. So chapter objectives. So 5 settlements, and these are the bonus ones. So research 6 techs, recruit a runesmith, ensure we have these buildings, complete a grudge, and complete 1 quest chain. And our overall victory conditions for a short campaign are to hold Karak 8 Peak and all of these places, as well as destroy these 2 things. So these are all various dwarf places, and the long campaign is basically to hold a lot more places.
Revenge incarnate. You have my hammer.
Not sure I can beat that.
Lord of the Angrund.
We can try though. Let's get our other one levelling up. Let's end turn. So I'm not doing badly. The issue is here, as before, it's income, guys, because it is very difficult to maintain a good, solid income as these guys, as Belegar, simply because you are constantly having to right, perfect. Oh, we're gonna fight this one. This is gonna be fun, guys. So we're fighting them in the underway, and they have to charge me. I wish I had more ranged here, but this'll do. Dwarves are actually unusual because you wouldn't think it, but dwarven ranged units are really, really powerful. So Belegar can go right in the centre of the line with his unit of hammerers. Now, hammerers are armour piercing, so I want them dealing with other things. We've also got some miners in here who are also armour piercing, but they're not shielded units. But nothing else here. I'm also going to put a Thane at each end of the line, or near to the end of each line. My runesmith is a good melee fighter as well, isn't he? He doesn't have any armour, however. But that said, while he doesn't have any armour, he's got a lot of melee attack, a lot of weapon strength, so he can go in my line as well.
Dwarf warriors!
Why can I, okay, I'm not complaining about that, but I wasn't expecting to be able to, put my entire army forwards.
The clans unite!
And we are instantly shooting. And you can see there, we're doing quite a lot of damage already. You guys can move out to deal with them. I don't want them getting past me, actually, so straight in.
For the High King!
And let's get the counter charge off.
Kill them! As you command!
These guys can move over to the side a bit.
Hammer us! Miners!
And we are shredding through them all now already.
There's nothing I can't fix.
Let's get some buffs off.
Oh, baby!
And let's throw out a few abilities from all of my lords. Let's throw my direct damage on these guys, as well as buff up everybody's armor around him. He can pop his augment out as well. And where's my other Thane? So these guys are really shredding in. Okay, let's turn and face these with all of my ranged. That's one thing we don't have any of as dwarves, is we seriously lack cavalry. So we're actually taking a bit of damage over here with these orc boys here.
Dwarf warriors! Kill them!
We're cracking them in the centre. My hammers can fold over to here. We're breaking that unit now. We're going to send all of my range supporting over here. Second, they are broken completely. Keep shooting them. Keep shooting them. How are they not breaking? Let's toggle skirmish mode off. Okay, we're breaking these. We can pursue. Right, let's hit those archers. Let's hit these guys next. Get my Thane on them if I can.
I will have vengeance!
How are these guys? They've got their things up. It's just buff speed and vigour, but it's always nice. I probably should save it a bit more, but you know. These guys can get around the back and hammer in.
Move to attack!
You can fold in there. You guys can fold around a bit more. Let's hit their archers. You guys can hit them. We're breaking them here nicely. Where is Belegar? He's not involved. You can go up here and get involved. Stop being lazy, Belegar. Ooh, my hammers. I'm going to pull my hammers back because I don't want to be losing them yet. They're taking a bit too much damage there. Oh, their lord is behind me. He's not going to last long there. Right, we want to keep pursuing here, because actually, we don't want to we want to destroy as much of this as possible. We're not going to really catch much. Okay, we're going to end this one here then. So that was a nice, it was a close victory actually. I might have been better autoing that, guys. Sorry, that was a bit of a mess from me. Whether, you know, nice amount of kills. Some of my guys got lots of kills. We got a lot of experience out of it, so that's good. Belegar only killed 3. My Thanes both killed 33, so I'm happy with that. That's a nice victory there. So we are going to execute and take the extra leadership, guys. Now, the real question is, can I take the settlement? Okay, so we have leveled up. So that would help me early game, certainly, actually. But it is only dwarf warriors and miners. That's what always makes me a bit loath taking it. Early game it would be very helpful, but late game not so much. That is useful though. I don't really use rangers too much. That could be me making mistakes. Anyway, For now, we're going to keep going through this to up our damage to 2 orcs. What's the garrison here like? That's the real question. It's not huge, actually.
True king.
I'm going to do this, which is really going to cripple my income.
Zulrikaz.
And with our regiments of renown, we're going to hit here. That's actually now a nice easy auto. Before we knock that over. And again, we're going to start pushing out income. I'm going to drop these 2 regiments of renown now because I don't really want to be keeping hold of them. We still have some public order issues over here, so that's something I do want to keep an eye on, but we're going to be moving my army back there shortly. And we're going to be ending this one here, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it.